Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name's Aaron, and today's topic, I'm going to do a little follow-up on last week's triad lesson. Today's topic is going to be on doing the triads on the first three strings, but we're also going to include a minor chord. So last week we did the 1, the 4, and the 5, which were all major chords. This week we're going to throw in a minor chord. So without further ado, here we go. All right, so last week we learned three different types of triads on the first three strings. We learned a root position C, which starts with the root, the third, and the fifth. Then we learned a first inversion C, which starts with the third, the fifth, and the root. And then we learned a second inversion, which starts with a fifth, a root, and a third. So we're just taking those three notes and stacking them differently for inversions. So what we're going to do is figure out now how to take a major triad and turn it into a minor one, and it's not that hard. If you can locate the third of the chord, this is the key. All you have to do is find the third of the chord and lower it one fret. So if we have a root position C here, C, E, G, in other words 1, 3, 5. When we get to the 3, 1 instead of 3, we'll move down a half step. 1, flat 3, 5. Okay, you can clearly hear that. We have major, 1, 3, 5. And in this inversion, or this root position chord, the third is on the second string. We're going to lower that down a half step. And that turns it into a minor chord. It's that simple. Major triad, minor. Now for all your inversions, if you go up here to first inversion, okay, the third of the chord is on the third string. Okay, so that's the note we have to move down now. So we're going to take that note, move down one fret. So we have 3, 5 root. Now we're going to flat the 3, 5 root. We end up with a bar. Okay, so major in first inversion, minor in first inversion. Okay, if we go up here and we take the second inversion, okay, we're going 5, root, 3. So now the note that we're going to change is on the first string. So that's our major. We take this one, move it down a half step, and we got minor. Okay, major, second inversion, minor. All right, clearly you can hear the difference there in quality. All right, so one more time. Take a major chord, find the third of the chord, lower the third a half step, and you got minor. Okay, for our example, we're going to use a 1, 5, 6 minor, 4 progression. Now, if you're not familiar with that language, I've got a PDF in the description that talks about chord families and keys and Nashville numbers and those type of things. So check that out, take a step back, review that. But what that does is gives you the information on how to build chords in a key, or diatonic chords that belong to a key. So that's all we're going to do here for this example. But we're going to use, let's kind of use what we did last week. We're going to take a 1 chord in root position, and then we're going to go to a 5 chord, G, in first inversion. And why are we doing that? Remember, because we don't want to take a 1 chord in root position and go way up here to a 5 chord. That's too much of a jump. So remember, we're trying to use the inversions that keep us in one area. So we're going through different sets of inversions. So we have a 1 chord root position to a 5 chord first inversion. Okay, then we're going to add the 6 chord in right here. This would be an A minor. Okay, and let's look at it. Really, all the 6 chord is taking the 5 major chord, moving it up 2 frets or a whole step, and flatting that third. So you can see I took this G chord in first inversion, I put it here, and then what did I do? I moved the third down to turn it minor. So 1 major chord root position to a 5 chord first inversion. Took the 5 chord, went up a whole step to make it a 6 chord, but I lowered the third or made it a minor chord. Okay, now watch this. My 4 chords literally right underneath it with a second inversion. Okay, so now we have a 4 chord progression. We have 1, 5, 6 minor, 4. Very common progression, all right? So now let's do it in a different area. Let's start with the 1 chord in first inversion. So we got 1 chord in first inversion, C. Now we're looking for a 5 chord, which could be right here. Notice I'm not moving far. I'm using the second version for the 5 chord. Now I'm going to go to, this is a 6 minor chord, okay, in second inversion. So again, let's back up. I took the 5 chord. Here's my 1 chord in first inversion. I took my 5 chord in second inversion, and again, I'm thinking of a 6 chord as it's up a whole step from a 5 chord. So I got this shape, move it up a whole step, but I flat the 3rd, and I end up with my 6 minor. Okay, so again, 1 chord, first inversion, 5 chord, second inversion. Move the 5 chord up a whole step to make it a 6 chord, and don't forget to flat the 3rd. Okay, and then I have a root position F right underneath for my 4 chord. All right, so. All right, so now let's do the last possibility up here. So I'm starting with a 1 chord C in second inversion. Okay, and then I want to move to a G chord, which would be in root position. That's a 5 chord in root position. So one more time. 1 chord in second inversion to a 5 chord in root position. Okay, now remember, we're going to take that 5 chord, move it up a whole step to make it a 6 chord, but lower the 3rd. And now I have A minor. Okay, and then I need to finish an F, which is a 4 chord in first inversion. Okay, one more time on that. Second inversion 1 chord. Root position 5 chord. Take the root position 5 chord, move it up a whole step, lower the 3rd. It gives me a 6 minor chord. It's also in root position. And then I'm going to come home to my 4 chord in first inversion. Okay, I know that's a lot of numbers and language, but take a sec to kind of ingest that and think about it. So what we've done now is we've added in a 6 minor chord. We worked on the 1 major chord, the 4 major, the 5 major, and then the 6 minor. Again, how do we get to 6 minor? I thought about playing a 5 chord, moving it up a whole step, locating which note was the 3rd and flatting the 3rd or lowering the 3rd, and we turned the 5 major chord into a 6 minor chord. All right, I hope that's helpful to you. We'll catch you next time. Thanks for tuning in. Bye-bye.